my name is Mason Giovanangeli, and here are your announcements for today. Attention boys who are trying out for the senior boys basketball team. An important email was sent out earlier this week. It is very important you read the email and that the players on the list see Mr. Giovanangeli before our next tryout this Saturday. And now in sports. Yesterday on the pitch, an exciting field hockey action. Your Lady Knights laid it out, coming up one short against St. Mary. Mary scored in the second half, and Tayden Robertson answered back with one on the very next play, leaving us in a tied game at the end of regulation. Into flicks we go. Our first and only flick was scored by Rachel Rinaldi, leaving us down by 1. Fantastic game, girls. A hard loss. Cheer them on tomorrow in their home game at 2 p.m. against Newman. Go Knights, go.
Good morning, STM. My name is Tia.
And I'm Dana.
And we are here from your Diversity Committee. Today marks the first National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Today we honor the lost Indigenous children, residential school survivors, and all lives and communities affected by the residential school system in Canada.
STM, today as we wear our orange shirt, we are reminded of the pain that was inflicted upon the Indigenous communities and the lives lost from the residential school system across Canada from 1870 to 1996.
STM, let us be reminded that this National Day of Truth and Reconciliation is also a process of healing for many.
We now have an Orange Shirt Day video presentation by Phyllis Webstad. Thanks, STM.
Wetmach from the Strachamach, Kenno Creek, Chatltam, Dog Creek First Nation, which is about 1.5 hours southwest from Williams Lake, BC. I grew up with my granny on the Dog Creek Reserve until I was 10, then moved with my auntie after she finished university. When I had just turned 6, I was sent to the St. Joseph Indian Residential School near Williams Lake, a place we called the Mission. My granny bought me a shiny new orange shirt to go to school in. When I got there, I was stripped, my clothing taken away, including my new orange shirt, and I never saw it again. I was no longer excited to be going to school. I wanted to go home to Granny. I had to stay there for 300 sleeps. No matter how much all of us little kids cried, it didn't matter. No one listened to us. Our feelings didn't matter. We didn't matter. I am the 3rd generation that attended residential school. Both my grandmother and mother attended the Mission for 10 years each. Today is a day to honor and remember residential school survivors and their families. Every child matters, even if you're an adult. We must also remember those children that never made it and are no longer with us. Today is a day for survivors to tell their stories and for us to listen with open hearts. I am humbled and honored that you are all taking part in Orange Shirt Day. When I was in school, I didn't know my own history, so I am overjoyed that you are taking part and learning the true history of Canada's First Peoples. Gukshjem, thank you.
Hey STM, I'm Bianca and I'm your Student Council President. In honor of Canada's first National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, STM's Diversity Committee and your Student Council have partnered together to ensure that this significant day is honored and respected. As we wear an orange shirt today, please keep in mind that St. Thomas More has the power to do more. So, with that said, a school cash online option will be available and will give you the opportunity to voluntarily donate directly to Indigenous communities. All proceeds from this fundraiser will be gifted to the Woodland Cultural Center located in Brantford. Please make sure to donate if you are able to and truly become part of the change, the solution, and the future. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, which can be found at STM_council, and on Twitter at STM Knights for updates, information, and everything council related. Thanks STM and have a great day.
Good morning, St. Thomas More, and I do appreciate your attention to these extended announcements. At St. Thomas More, we're an extension of the Catholic Church, as we know, and the Catholic Council of Bishops released a statement last week, which I think covers many of the issues related to the tragedy that was the residential schools. And I'm going to read that statement. I'm warning you in advance that it's lengthy, and I do appreciate it if you'll take the time to sit, watch the television, and listen to the statement. It's not my statement, it's a statement of apology by the Catholic Bishops of Canada to the Indigenous peoples of the land. We, the Catholic Bishops of Canada, gathered in plenary this week, take this opportunity to affirm to you, the Indigenous peoples of this land, that we acknowledge the suffering experienced in Canada's Indian residential schools. Many Catholic religious communities and dioceses participated in this system, which led to the suppression of Indigenous languages, culture, and spirituality, failing to respect the rich history and traditions, wisdom of the Indigenous peoples. We acknowledge the grave abuses that were committed by some members of the Catholic community, physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, cultural, and sexual. We also sorrowfully acknowledge the historical and ongoing trauma and the legacy of suffering and challenges faced by the Indigenous peoples that continue to this day. Along with those Catholic entities which were directly involved in the operation of the schools and which have already offered their own heartfelt apologies, we, the Catholic Bishops of Canada, express our profound remorse and apologize unequivocally. We are fully committed to the process of healing and reconciliation. Together with the many pastoral initiatives already underway in dioceses across the country, and as a further tangible expression of this ongoing commitment, we are pledging to undertake fundraising in each region of the country to support initiatives discerned locally with Indigenous partners. Furthermore, we invite the Indigenous peoples to journey with us into a new era of reconciliation, helping us in each of our dioceses across the country to prioritize initiatives of healing, to listen to the experience of Indigenous peoples, especially to the survivors of Indian residential schools, and to educate our clergy, consecrated men and women, and lay faithful on Indigenous cultures and spirituality. We commit ourselves to continue the work of providing documentation or records that will assist in the memorialization of those buried in unmarked graves. Having heard the request to engage Pope Francis in this reconciliation process, a delegation of Indigenous survivors, elders, knowledge keepers, and youth will meet the Holy Father in Rome in December 2021. Pope Francis will encounter and listen to the Indigenous participants so as to discern how he can support our common desire to renew relationships and walk together along the path of hope in the coming years. We pledge to work with the Holy See and our Indigenous partners on the possibility of a pastoral visit by the Pope to Canada as part of this healing journey. We commit ourselves to continue accompanying you, the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people of this land, standing in respect of your resiliency, strength, and wisdom. We look forward to listening and learning from you as we walk in solidarity. And that was last week, September 24th, 2021. Finally, I want to thank and recognize the great work of the Diversity and Student Council groups, and I want to throw my voice behind participation in the fundraiser. On School Cash Online, you'll find you can give as little as $1, $2, $5, $10. If you want to give more, you can select more than one of those options. And I just want to recognize also that if you're unable to give, then just give your time and your thought and your energy to get educated on the things that happened in our past so that we can more fully help the Indigenous peoples heal in the future. With that, I'll pass it along. Thank you.
Time is now 8:26. Have a great day.